Hi, you join me on Manor Farm on the linear fisheries complex. About halfway through my session at the moment. I've had a fair few fish so far, made a good start. They sort of started to get on the bait last night, had 5 fish through the night, ended up winding in for a bit of a kip. But prior to that I was scratching about a bit with zigs, with the high pressure and everything coming in, so it's really promising they're back on the bait, and it's gone a bit flat now. I'm pretty sure they've cleaned me out there. There's a lot showing again this morning, so I think I'm going to go and top the spot up. They're really hungry fish in here at the moment. This time of year they're just waking up, so I'm going to put out a fair bit of bait, get 3 on the spot, and hopefully we can catch one for the cameras. The spod mix I've been using on this session is actually my go-to bait all year round. I'll use it on any of the lakes on the linear complex, or any lake for that matter, and I'm confident of a bite as long as I get myself in the right area and I fish effectively. So it comprises of, first of all, 12mm boilies. I always use small bits in my spod mix, so I use a 50-50 split of the monster tiger nut in 12mm and the complex tea in 12mm. Okay, the reason for that is I genuinely believe that some fish love a fish meal bait, some fish love a sweet nutty bait. So by splitting it 50-50, I'm just increasing my odds of a bite. So my next ingredient is the Dynamite Baits frenzied hemp seed. Comes in the little jars, I'm sure you've all seen it before. Pop the lid off, undo it, bang it in your spod mix, it's simple as that. There's no preparation needed, it's really good quality, it's all split. The reason why I use that is because it keeps fish in the swim, it keeps fish grubbing around, and even if you had fish on you, you hadn't had a bite, you know that there's going to be little bits and bobs left in the gravel on the spot. My next ingredient is the ever faithful sweet corn. We all know there isn't a carp out there that doesn't love sweet corn, especially on the linear fisheries complex. So the final ingredient in my spod mix, I always like to use a liquid. I use the liquid sweet tiger nut from Dynamite Baits. It's a lovely yellow in colour. It's based on CSL, so just a good glug of that in the bait, it just gets it all activated when the fish move in and start grubbing around. First one's away, came later than we expected, but welcome nonetheless. It's found a little wee bed out there, I think. There we go. It's plodding. Someone see Kempies? Luckily the weed's still young. You can work them through quite easily. Double bubble.
Is that a double bubble?
I don't know. No. Where's the line going? a tench with serious attitude.
What is that weed?
Yeah. I give up, mate. I'm going home. There we go. We're off the mark, lads. It's just the wrong colour. The sling out. We put her up on the scales and give Bob Nudd a ring. At least he'll be happy. Yeah, literally, I haven't a clue where that landed. Not the first clue. I think it's near the right tree. Yeah, but then I won't know again, will I? Really? I ain't got my glasses on me. We could shine that big beacon on it, couldn't we? Give that a go. But I think I'll let the line go really tight and then I'll look at the direction. I think that's the answer. And if it's pointing towards the bay, we know we're not in the right area. Oh, that doesn't look too good. I've taken out the clip as well.
You've taken it out of the clip?
Yeah.
Does that mean you've got to re-wrap it?
Yeah, it's like a habit. I just like flick out the clip with my finger, just like a little weird habit I do. It's a really, really annoying habit, especially when you miss the spot. It's good calories though, isn't it? Burning off calories going around the sticks. Get rid of those biscuits we just dumped. I'm trying to hide the fact that it's killing me inside.
You've gone.
That's on the money, mate. Look at that. Laser beams. Laser beams, mate. Bosh. That is down the rabbit hole, look. Yeah, boy. Straight as an arrow. I should have never doubted myself, should I?
You've gone from thinking you're playing a carp and you've shouted double bubble because the other rod's going. I've landed one tench.
I've landed one tench, dropped my kettle in my camera bag. And then probably cast nowhere near my spot. It's going absolutely swimmingly. Right. As long as the reel handles line up, it doesn't matter. It's headed straight for Weedbed City, mate. After thinking the curse of the camera was starting to defeat me with Steve going today, I was absolutely convinced it was going to happen last night. And then to be tenched out twice, being woken up, I thought it was all over, to be honest with you, but it's just tanked off this morning, right on the whistle. What a result. Let's just hope we can get this one in the net. Proper cautious take as well, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like it was sat there on the spot, wasn't it? Yeah. And then I thought, I'm just gonna have to run. I'm gonna have to bolt.
See it splash on the surface.
Shut up. Oh no, it's gone in that one. The one on behind Brown's. It's not a weed bed you want to get a fish stuck in. Come on out, buddy. Oh, kiting. I'm gonna have to bully this fish a bit, otherwise I'm gonna lose it. It's going into that weed. That snotty weed. To be fair, that might do me a favour. Yeah, it's on the other side of it. If I pull that over its eyes, it might just come in. On the hit and run pop-ups. Hit and run, baby. Hit and run. They love a bit of banana in here. It's Kempy's daughter, isn't it? Where's your daddy? Oh, that's a really cool fish. That's a really cool fish. That's an original, mate. We'll take that. Right, stop fiddling about now, buddy. Coming in. Come on, mate. Nearly there. You can see the camera, it's like, bollocks to that. I don't want to be famous. Get in there. What's up, my son? Yes. It's a banger as well. Banger! It's a proper old, scarred up, scaly. So first fish for the cameras. This one came to 12mm yellow hit and run pop-up over my trusty linear spod mix that I will show you in a little bit more detail in a moment. Oh, I thought it wasn't going to happen. It switched off before Steve came in the cameras in typical fashion, but this belter has absolutely made up for it. What a stunning Manor original. So after slipping that one back, I wanted to go into a little bit more detail on sort of rigs, spots and sort of areas and tactics so far. I've had quite a successful section so far, 20 fish now I believe. It's been quite a long session. I'm pretty knackered, but it's been a good crack. When I turned up, I knew there was a sort of feature in front of this peg around 100 yards. So I started off with a marker float, aimed for where I thought it would be, sort of used Google Earth, and could see the bar there sort of shining through. So I found it, sort of 5 foot, 5.5 foot on top with a marker float, rock hard, pulled it back to the bottom of the slope. There's sort of lovely bit of silt, not too nasty, probably about that deep on a guess. And I thought that feels perfect. It's about 7-8 foot of water, 7.5, 8 foot of water at the bottom of that slope. So yeah, put the gripper on, had another little look, make sure there's not too much nasty sort of choddy silt down there, and it was all good. So because of the silt, I went for helicopter rigs, just putting the bead up a little bit to make sure I was presenting. And I started off with these, so it's just a Ronnie rig, but using a really sort of stiff boom on the helicopter. It just kicks out every time, and that just flutters nicely in the water and sits on top of the silt. That's just a little 12mm hit and run, one of the new hit and run pop-ups. Got a lovely banana-y smell to it, and yellow just seems to do really well on Manor, regardless of the time of year. To be honest, it's always been the colour that I've caught the most fish on. So yeah, that was my sort of silt rig. Oh, we're away. Bite number 2, absolutely ripped off. We were just talking about tactical changes then, talking about how they probably just spat out one of my Ronnies, and it has screamed off. To be fair, this is on the wafter rig, which I was about to change the other rod to, so gotta love it when a plan starts to come together. It's probably in the brown swim by now. It has kited on us. Feels like a good fish. I don't think Nud's going to be very happy. A welcome stocky, at least. More to come, boys. Fish number 2 from Manor Farm this morning. They're usually quite spod shy on Manor. You wouldn't normally get a bite shortly after putting bait out, but we saw the fish all over the angler on the adjacent bank, which is just off the back of my spot really. He had a bite, so kind of capitalised on the window of that disturbance just to sneak in 5 spoms. Luckily each one was sort of down the rabbit hole, right on the money, and I don't think they noticed, so this bite sort of followed pretty shortly after. Within sort of an hour it was away. The future's definitely bright for Manor with these little bangers in here. Let's hope for a bigger one.
Sweet.
That's the last rod out for the night. I'm hoping they're going to turn up again around 6 p.m, 7 o'clock sort of tea time. That's what time they turned up last night. Hopefully we have double takes aplenty. Fish number 3 of the day. Conditions are absolutely cock on now. Hopefully it's only going to get better. Going to hold it in there, plenty of tension on the line, wait for it to start kicking. Hopefully it'll, absolute unit just showed, right over the bait, proper unit. It's pretty solid. There you go, there you go, there you go, there you go. Yeah, boy. It's a bit of a reach, wasn't it? There's a leak on the line.
It's happening, isn't it?
It is kicking off now, mate. We're about to have a little chat about the rigs and how I've approached this session, but we've been taken off our seats with another bite. 2 rods left in the water. It's always a good sign. This one's on a wafter as well, no colour. So they're definitely troughing the bait. Slow and ploddy.
And this feels like the fish I'm after today, which is tench.
Tench on the wafter. Nud is back in the game. Nud is back on top form.
So the night passed by uneventfully, other than that little scaly one. It's been a truly memorable trip, with some of the stunning fish from Manor Farm gracing my net and over 20 fish to boot. I think the highlight of the trip for me was definitely feeling like I was connected to, a good fish, only to discover it was in fact a £4 tench with about £10 of weed on its head. Until next time.